Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes.
Georgia Tech versus Syracuse. The Yellow Jackets are 4-1 in the head-to-head series, winning in their last meeting, 31-22, at home last season. Georgia Tech is 2-0 ATS this season and Syracuse is 0-1 ATS. Both sides seem to have grasped things pretty quickly on the offensive end. The Georgia Tech defense is going to be a big test for the Orange. They will be in McCord's face much more than Ohio was, and the Q's QB can be prone to holding onto the ball longer than he should, leading to either sacks or turnovers. On the other side, the Syracuse defense was run over, giving up 255 rushing yards last week. Now they enter this without one of their key players in Wax. Him missing in the middle could be the difference in what should be an exciting matchup. If Georgia Tech can do to Ireland and win, they can go to upstate New York and do the same. Take the Yellow Jackets to cover. Last season's meetings saw these two put up 53 combined points, hitting over against a total of 51.5 points. Both sides are loaded with offensive talent. The Orange are a completely different beast than a year ago. McCord under center is a massive upgrade, and T.W. Oron Gadsden too is a beast who is extremely tough to take down once he gets going. Syracuse also flashed a decent run game behind Allen, and they'll have the home crowd to get them rolling early. Their opponents will look to manipulate the hole that Wax leaves in the middle. King is an exciting field general who isn't afraid to get out of the pocket and get rumbling upfield. This will keep the Syracuse defense honest, opening up all other avenues for the Yellow Jackets. Take the over. The Wildcats struggled against the spread while playing in their opponent's stadium last year, winning only once in 5 tries. Tulane beat Kansas State on the road 17-10 the last time the two teams met during the 2022 season. Tulane had the edge on defense last year, ranking 20th in the country in average points allowed per game with 18.9 versus 30th, 21.2 PPG for the Wildcats. Tulane also ranked near the top of the league in average yards allowed per game with 334.2, so look for the Wildcats to have an uphill battle consistently getting in scoring position throughout the contest. Tulane also has a significant advantage with its special teams, ranking just out of the top 10 among its peers in average yards on kickoffs. The Green Wave finished the regular season covering the spread in their final 2 games, including a 29-16 victory at home against the UTSA Roadrunners. They have 1 ATS in 3 regular season contests and 2 straight in front of the home crowd. Tulane's rushing attack was on full display in the season opener last week, averaging over 8 yards per carry and scoring 4 touchdowns. The stats and trends strongly support a Tulane win against the spread at home on Saturday. Take Tulane with the points. The previous matchup between these two squads went under the point total, with only 27 points scored throughout the contest. Kansas State went under the point total in their previous 2 contests played away from their home stadium, and they held the NC State Wolfpack to under 20 points at last year's Pop-Tarts Bowl to close out the season. Their defense held their opponents to under 30 points in all but 1 road game in 2023. The Wildcats ranked in the top 30 in the country in average points allowed per game last season, limiting their opponents to 21.2 points per game. The Tulane D was even more efficient last year, allowing only 18.9 points per game. Both teams also ranked in the top half of the league in average yards allowed per game, so look for both squads to have difficulty adding a significant amount of points to the scoreboard. Tulane finished the 2023 regular season with 4 straight games that went under the point total, and their defense limited their opponents to 16 points or less in 3 of those 4 games. They kicked off 2024 with a shoutout at home against the Lions that also went under the point total. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair in New Orleans on Saturday. Take the under. Arkansas versus Oklahoma State. Arkansas has shown immediate offensive improvement under new offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino, with Talon Green looking particularly impressive in his debut. Green's dual threat capability, passing for over 229 yards and rushing for another 88. With a receiving core that includes Andrew Armstrong, Tyrone Broden, Isaiah Sategna, and Isaac Taslaw, all familiar with Petrino's system, Arkansas has the firepower to keep the game close and potentially even pull ahead. This quartet can exploit Oklahoma State's secondary. Oklahoma State is dealing with several injury concerns that could impact their performance. For instance, senior wideout Andrew Armstrong's hamstring injury, along with the absence of transfer safety Miguel Mitchell, could weaken the Cowboys' offense and defense, respectively. These injuries might limit Oklahoma State's ability to execute its game plan effectively and could provide Arkansas with opportunities to exploit these gaps. Despite being young, Arkansas's defense has shown marked improvement from last season. Under defensive coordinator Travis Williams, they've reduced their total yards allowed by a significant margin and improved their pass defense. While they'll face a tougher test against Oklahoma State, their progress suggests they could manage to contain or at least slow down the Cowboys' offense. My team pick is Arkansas Razorbacks plus 7.5 runs. My total pick is over 62.5 runs. Texas versus Michigan. It's hard to believe that this will be just the second time that these storied programs have ever met, the first coming in the 2005 Rose Bowl, won by Texas 38-37. These two come into this meeting with some different posturing, to be sure. The Wolverines are entering a brand new era, a new head coach, a new system, and new pieces at most key positions. The Longhorns are loaded and have veteran leadership with strong coaches already in place. This Texas group in general has had a good amount of time together. Michigan will surely be more prepared for this game than they were for their opener, and they'll have the backing of the big house to boost them as well. However, the Longhorns are daunting, stacked with talent on both sides. The Wolverines are going to try to get at Ewers as much as possible, knowing that even if they stop the run game, Texas can light things up through the air. This is where the game is won. Take the Longhorns to cover. Both sides saw the overhit in the season openers. Despite their lack of cohesion and any semblance of a passing game, Michigan has extremely talented players on the offensive end. They always do. This is the time to unleash them, and they may be forced to keep pace with the Longhorns. Texas can sling it or they can rumble with it on the ground, so they will be able to switch things up if one aspect of their game gets shut down. Both defenses were very strong in the first week of play, but I can't imagine Texas holding Michigan scoreless here, and the Wolverines most certainly will not hold the Longhorns to just 10 points. Take the over.